Hello, it's Tori with LANDiO. We're here broadcasting live from the LANDiO mothership, reaching out to planet Earth. And wanted to start with a comment that we received from Daniel Valente, and it was really touched our heart here. He said, Colorado native here, haha, I'm going to save all summer long to be able to purchase a small property in Colorado from you guys. I'm really young, and being able to say I own land is something I never thought I would be able to say. Talk to you soon. The ease of a transaction is one of the things that we really strive to provide. Being the principal in the transaction, and over the last 6 years, we've completed nearly 1,000 transactions where we were the sole investors in those transactions. And I can tell you firsthand, dealing with people all over the country, that it is difficult. And it's even difficult with our team. And the difficulty is really not in the buyer and seller perspective, more or less. The difficulty comes in all of the other things that actually kind of get in the way of a transaction. And we're really strive to eliminate those difficulties to make that transaction easy. We've had someone say a couple of years ago when they purchased a property from us that purchasing a 160-acre property in New Mexico was easier than taking a trip to Walmart. And when you think about the ease of so many transactions in society today, how you can have cars delivered to your home that you can order online and never even test drive, to having groceries delivered to you, meal kits, everything else, but yet there's still all this friction in what should seemingly be a simple transaction. I mean, we don't even have a product to ship, if you think about it. The fulfillment of the product is already there. We're not going to ship you the land. So we've been working on this ongoing pursuit of easing the friction in that transaction, and we've made a lot of progress. One of the things that we have also experienced is the demand. And the demand for our services is growing exponentially, and it's very rewarding and fulfilling to hear the stories from people all around the world that are looking to purchase land, and they come to find us, and we're grateful to have all those conversations. Like even right now, we have people asking for property in the western portion of South Dakota. We do not have any properties in South Dakota at the moment. We're on a mission right now to expand to all 50 states by the end of this year, and we're making progress towards that. And that's part of the reason that we're having this conversation with you all today, is that in order for us to grow, we really need great people to facilitate that growth. So what we've done here is we're going to launch a little program here to our audience, and we want to showcase this and offer this up to our audience first, because y'all have been there with us, some of you from the beginning, and we really appreciate that. Many of you are like family members, it seems like. And if you go to LANDiOTeam.com, LANDiO Team, TEAM.com, you're going to be directed to this form. And it's a simple form. And what we're looking for is who out there in the LANDiO community is an agent or a broker. You could have 50 years experience like our neighbor next door who we're partnering with a transaction on, or you could be someone who just obtained your license. But if you have a passion for land and a desire to help people realize their land dreams, then we'd love to talk to you. Tony Frazier, howdy, in Page, Arizona. Actually, we were looking at property in page. There's some properties that overlooks Lake Powell that we've been researching and working with some people that are doing some development down there. Really beautiful area. I've not yet been on Lake Powell, but look forward to taking my family down there sometime in the near future. Dios, appreciate your comment there. I'm going to walk you through this little form here. So if you click start, it's going to simply ask your full name. In what state are you currently licensed as a real estate agent or broker? Now, if you're licensed in multiple states, please select the state that you make your primary residence. We want you to be physically near where the transactions are taking place. Myself right now, my primary residence is Arizona. What counties within the state do you currently do business? Right now, I am probably within a stone's throw away from a county line. So I could essentially be doing business in Yavapai and Coconino counties. What county or counties do you primarily do business in? What brokerage are you affiliated with? I'm affiliated with eXp Realty. What is your email address? And your mobile number. How did you first discover us? And is there any additional information that you have that you'd like to share with us? Tell us a little bit about yourself. Maybe you want to tell us how long you've been in real estate, some notable milestones that you've achieved. Maybe you want to talk about your upbringing. Are you a land owner? Do you invest in real estate? What's your primary niche? Just anything about yourself that's going to give us a little more context. And then we're going to research some further information about you and set up a time to have a conversation. We can talk about right now some properties that we recently had come available. We have currently a 2.7 acre property in Colorado. This is near the Sanchez Reservoir State Wildlife Area, really beautiful area in southern Colorado. We have a 10 acre property that we recently listed. This is near Centerville, Texas. It's about halfway between Dallas and Houston along Interstate 45. It's only about probably 15 minutes from Interstate 45, but it's remote property that gives you some privacy. It's a 10 acre property. One of the things that we did with this 10 acre property, and this is something that we really strive to do, is continue to push the envelope on marketing, the presentation of properties. We have here a 360 view of the property. So if you scroll down a little bit on the property details page, you're going to see this area right here where we have these 4 360 views. Once you click on that, now you can take your mouse and you can spin that around. Gives you a really good perspective. This is from like the center point of the property. You can scroll down, you can look directly down, you can look directly up, and you actually can also zoom in. If I want to zoom in, you can see how we can get into some really finite details and look at the resolution of that image. Even all the way zoomed in, it's still pretty clear. Well, how did we do that? Well, it's a lot of hard work and effort and investment in technology, equipment, time. But what that does is it provides you with a more engaging experience, a more informative, so that you understand a lot more about the property. I think one of the things that is interesting and unique is that we're scheduling these calls, and we've had hundreds of calls, and in my 6 years of since we've launched LANDiO, I've probably had conversations with upwards of 10,000 people. I don't know. It's insane how many phone calls and text messages and live chats and emails, et cetera, et cetera. But one of the things, especially recently, and having calls with people that are looking to purchase property, is that there's this passion burning inside them to own land. And there's a lot of reasons behind that, and each person's situation is unique. What we find sometimes is that the emotion overrides the logic. And when that occurs, sometimes it can lead to catastrophic situations. And when I say catastrophic situations, I'm even referencing people that I've spoken with who have made decisions that were more based on emotion than logic. And unfortunately, these are not properties that they purchased from us. They were telling me about other properties that they had purchased from other agents or brokers, and they ended up making really bad decisions. And now they're in a situation where they're trying to sell the property, and they're probably going to end up having to take a big loss, and the property, it fits nothing what they were really looking for. And it was because there was very limited information available. There was a high degree of motivation on the behalf of the person purchasing the property, but the information was not there. So they filled in the blanks of the information that was missing with their own imagination. And when the reality set in and they actually visited the property, it didn't turn out to fit their needs. And that's why we go over the top with the information that we provide, so that you can get a good idea of what the property is like, what the area around the property is like. And what we find is that we have a very high degree of client satisfaction, and that our clients, when they let's say, because a lot of our clients will purchase property sight unseen, and when they do visit the property for the first time, the overwhelming response that we receive is that it either fits exactly what they expected it to, or it exceeds their expectations. And oftentimes, I'll give you an example, for example, a property in Colorado. We may have these incredibly beautiful images of the property and from the property, looking at the surrounding mountains and hills, etc. But when you go stand there in person and you have all of the sensory components touching you simultaneously, that whatever image that we had presented does not do justice to what it's like to be there in person. And I'll give you an example of a property like that. This property right here. This is a 35-acre property in Colorado. This property recently went live on our site. This property has county road frontage, over 2,000 feet of county road frontage along the entire southern boundary. It actually borders Bureau of Land Management, BLM land, along the north boundary. I'll show you a picture of it right here. So there's 40 acres of BLM land, which is publicly accessible. A lot of times, a lot of people like land that borders public land because you'll often have the ability to enjoy that land, to access that land, let's say for hunting, recreation, hiking, horseback riding, that type of thing. But you don't have to pay for it, essentially. So if you would think about it from this standpoint of, okay, you're purchasing 35 acres, but you have an extension of that 35 acres of an additional 40 acres of public land. And this 40 acres, it's not really going to be used by as many people because, well, one, there's tens of thousands of acres of BLM land and national forest land around the property. And it's kind of set off the road a little bit. I'll show you some additional pictures of this property. This is a view looking to the north of Greenhorn Mountain and the San Isabel National Forest. You can see this mountain here. This is called Silver Mountain. This is Mount Mestis and Rough Mountain. This is in southern Colorado. The county is Orfano. This is a drone shot overlooking that county road frontage along the southern boundary. As we start to look over here to the west, let's see if I can have some images here of, yeah, there we have Sheep Mountain and Little Sheep Mountain. Sheep Mountain, we actually owned and sold property on Sheep Mountain, at the base of Sheep Mountain, all around this area. But if you look at this picture and we say, wow, that's really beautiful. Wait till you stand on the property and look at that. Look at that view. It's incredible. Dire Wolf Collectibles. Can we go see a land on our own, or do we need permission from you? Well, we'd like to know if you're going out to visit the property. We have detailed instructions that we can provide you for visiting a property. We have a hand-curated directions guide along with instructions on how to use an interactive map app that will enable you to see yourself as you walk about the property. So if you would let us know in advance, then we can provide you with that information. Also, sometimes what happens is people are making plans to visit a property and the property ends up being sold in the interim of them making the plans to see the property. But also, one of the reasons why we've launched this initiative here with the LANDiO team and that agents and broker connection, etc., is so that we can better serve our clients. We find that people are looking for property all over the country and they're contacting us and saying, hey, can you help me? Can you put me in touch with somebody? And it's a specialty. Would you, if you were to need brain surgery, would you go to a guy who does breast implants? I didn't think so. So you want to go to a specialist. And based on what you've seen from us here over the last 6 years, we specialize in land, farms, and ranches. What else do we have here? We've got a 40-acre property. This is also in southern Colorado. This is standing on the road looking to the east. You have the 40-acre property right here. This is Mount Lindsay and Blanca Peak. Blanca Peak is over 14,000 feet in elevation. It's one of the tallest peaks in the Rocky Mountains. And this is satellite view of that 40-acre parcel. You're just about 1,100 feet from a county road over here to the east. And you've got a dirt road that runs along the southern boundary. That's the image that we showed you here. That's standing on that road looking to the east. This property is priced at just around $1,000 an acre. Now, this is a property that we own. You can click that Buy Now button. You can check out, and we can complete that sale in a day, same day if you'd like. And we talk about the ease of a transaction. It doesn't get much easier than that. Aiden, you said you're interested in some farmland. Well, I'd have to get a little more information from you. Which property is it? The 40-acre property, and that's, take a deep dive into all the images if you have not yet done so. Pull up the interactive map. Look at the things that are around there. On the interactive map, you can do things. Let's say, let's pull up this interactive map. you can zoom out. And you can see all the area around there. Now, if you're saying, hey, it's flat, yes, it is flat. It is level. If you were looking for a property with more topography, then you could see the other property that we have on the market in Colorado. And it's the beauty and the challenge with land is that it is what it is, essentially. I mean, we're not going in there and not leveling out the property and changing the topography. Now, these are things that people can do. For example, we just did a live stream from a property that we're working on the marketing for that's in Sedona, Arizona. Now, when someone were to build on this property, there's a few different things that they could do. They could raise the elevation of where the building envelope is and then compact the dirt to then build a solid foundation and then build on top of that, because you're going to be elevated when you're raising that base level of the foundation. You're going to have a more expansive views. Or you could build a lower level, and let's say there's a garage at that lower level, and then you build the structure, the home, on top of that. We were just looking at a property in Virginia. So we were in Virginia and we were shooting a 258 acre property that has a custom home that's about 3/4 complete. And this place is beautiful. It's up at the high elevation point with views for miles. But what they did with this property is they built into the side of the hill. Should I answer Tom's question? We have some questions coming in here. T. Wolf, is your company in touch with the counties and municipalities that can help with land use rezoning? If you want to build a master plan community on these properties, are zoning limitations listed? That's a deep dive because land use rezoning conditions can change. The counties if you think about what's taking place over the last, let's just say before the coronavirus, there was you have different types of development taking place. For example, tiny homes, tiny home communities, tiny homes on wheels, etc. There were counties that changed guidelines to either be more favorable and welcoming to tiny homes, and there were some that changed the guidelines to make it more difficult to have tiny homes. I would recommend, I would start and this is a kind of question that we have regularly, and I recommend start with the county or the municipality. Get to know the guidelines first, and then start to look for the land that kind of fits what you're looking to do. So for example, in Colorado, we have subdivided property in Colorado. We've taken large parcels and we've subdivided them through a survey process. And because the parcel size was 35 acres or larger, the subdivision could be done with a simple survey replatting. We did not have to go in front of a board or any zoning committees. We did not have to get approval. And the process was very cost effective, efficient. If we said, hey, we wanted to go below 35 acres, it would be very impractical. I don't like to use the word impossible because we see that oftentimes there are things that are possible, but let's talk about probability. So I would start with, hey, where can I do this? And then also think about, okay, some people say, I'm looking for land, and they fill out a form and they say, I'm looking for land, and they list like 10 different states. Well, the challenge with that is when you spread your search out that wide, you're going to spend your time looking at so many things that don't fit your criteria that it's going to add distance between you and the objective. So I like to start with the end in mind and look at, okay, this is what I want to do. Where can I do it? I'll take you, for example, Arizona. And I've been in some of these things, even though we have not done them yet, we learn about what other people have done so that we can be more knowledgeable and then also determine if it's possible for us to do something like this. So in Arizona, I've been learning about some things with the subdividing of properties and creating 5 parcels from the single property. That if you're going to go beyond 5, there's different guidelines that you have to go through. So I would, again, start with the end in mind, really narrow down, and even to the point of go visit the county, go meet the people that are in the zoning department, get to know them, let them know who you are, develop a relationship with them, and the better relationship that you have, the more likely it is that they're willing to assist you. If you think about it, let's put yourself in the shoes of the person that works at the county, and they're receiving these types of requests from people from all over the country and sometimes even outside the United States with all kinds of questions. And they're not that if they just sat and talked to everybody that's calling them up and asking these questions, they're not able to service the actual people that live in the community. And the people that live in the community are most likely going to get the highest priority. And also you think about what the business that they're in is not a for-profit business. A lot of these, they're not necessarily running it like a corporation. And so you really want to, and a lot of times they can be the receivers of a lot of dissatisfaction with the way things are, or the way somebody may want it to be. And just be conscious of that. So it's relationships, right? We live on a planet where the human connection is innately inside of us, but yet we see how societal elements separate us from that human connection. So there's a separation from the other people in the world, but yet there's also a separation from the land itself. And I'm not in the position right now to help you with your human relationships, but we can help you with your relationship with the land. But again, I would recommend get to know the people in the area that you want to do business. And you're going to learn more by setting foot in that county office and spending some time driving around the county and getting to know the people there than you ever will by researching online. Research online to prepare you so you're knowledgeable when you go there. But again, even like our properties. Yeah, we sell property sight unseen. I recommend if you have the opportunity to go visit the property, but for a lot of people, it's not feasible. And we've talked to many people where they have spent years of their life going out to look at properties where there is very little information available, and they wasted a lot of time and money. And then they found us and the information we provided, and it fit everything that they were looking for. And these are real transactions that have taken place. Monday would be nice for live. Cyber Human X. Appreciate that. We're going to try to go live more frequently. Who knows? Maybe we'll make it a daily thing. Yes, easement concerns. Yeah, easement concerns. Yeah, there's lots of concerns. And whatever those concerns are, educate yourself about those matters. Again, the more information that you have, the better decision that you're going to make. It's not like Amazon. Although we try to bring the ease to the transaction like you'd find at Amazon, the return process is a little different.
Go up.
Going back to this thing right here, the LANDiO Team.com. If you're an agent or broker anywhere in the United States, and you like what we're doing here, and you want to be a part of this, please go fill out that form. I don't know if we're going to be a good fit, but we could at least explore the opportunity. We have people that are contacting us from all over the country saying, can you help me buy or sell property in this area? And as fast as we were growing, we haven't figured out how to clone myself, my wife, and the rest of the team here. And that's really not something that we're interested in the human cloning type thing. But we're interested in the duplication and working and partnering with other people. So if you're following our channel, that's why we're offering this out to you first. If you're already a member of the LANDiO community, we want to say, well, first, thank you. I mean, anybody that's sitting here watching this live stream, we sincerely appreciate that from the bottom of our hearts. It really touches us to hear the stories and the positive feelings that people receive from doing business with us. It really touches us. I had a conversation today with somebody, and they said that they could feel our heart. They could in the information that we provided. And they said that multiple times. And it's true, because our heart really is in it. I mean, for example, right now it's Friday afternoon, 5:30 here in the LANDiO mothership. And, Mr. T. Wolf, you're a broker in New York City. All right, fill out that form. Thank you, T. Wolf. Appreciate that. There's a lot of other things we could be doing right now. I have 3 children, beautiful wife, lots of other interests, but we're here right now because we care. We see the emotion that is tied up in the pursuit of a land dream, and we want to make that dream a reality. Earlier today, talked with a really, really nice lady who is looking for property in Minnesota or Wisconsin, and they have plans to build an earthship home. They've been studying earthship homes. They are even considering attending the Earthship Academy, whether in person or online. The Earthship Biotexture Academy is near Taos, New Mexico. We actually have a video on our YouTube channel where we have toured Earthships. We went and saw 4 different Earthships in different stages of construction, and really amazing. Most of the people that were there building these Earthships, they had attended the Earthship Academy. That's somebody who's serious. And they were talking about the slope, the direction that the slope faced, different things to take into consideration. So this wasn't just they woke up one day and like, oh yeah, I'd like to build an Earthship. They were doing a lot of research and a lot of homework before we even had a conversation. And it would be an honor to help to fulfill that dream, to see them actually realize that and to find the property that fit their needs and develop that Earthship, and then all of the positive benefits that they're going to receive from that. Because usually the purchase of a property is not necessarily the end destination of the dream. A lot of times the purchase of the property is just the beginning or a step along the way. We think of land as being foundational. And you talk about, like, let's just say if you have children, what's the thing that you want to do with your children? You want to raise them with a solid foundation. Kind of like when you build a home. What's the first thing you do before you build the home? You lay the foundation. If you do not take the proper steps in laying the foundation, what happens? The foundation could crack. I don't know if anybody out there has ever renovated homes, but we've renovated many homes, and there were some where we found out later on that there was a cracked foundation, and that the crack in the foundation cracked the plumbing underneath. The home was not built on a solid enough foundation. So just as you want a solid foundation in your family and a solid foundation in your children, you want to make sure that the dreams that you have, and as you continue to move forward with the realization of those dreams, that you're laying the solid foundation. And if you look at the Bible, what does the Bible talk about? Above all, seek wisdom. Well, where does the wisdom come from? The wisdom comes from the pursuit of knowledge. And the more time that you spend researching a subject, getting your hands dirty, the more likely it is that you're going to have that expert level knowledge and be able to make a wise decision. And as we get nearing conclusion here on this first live broadcast, we've done a few other live broadcasts in the past. They were more out in the field. This is the first kind of in-studio live broadcast. We're going to be doing many more of these. We're going to be bringing some guests on, some partners that we do business with here, and some clients, some mentors. We have mentors in our own life. And we'd like for you to come back and join us. We're going to look at adding some structure and some new content here. And if you're watching this, and let's say you're not a real estate agent or broker, but you happen to know somebody that is, please send them that link. If you feel like they would be a good fit for us, please tell them about that LANDiOTeam.com form. Ask them to go and fill that out. And look, if you're just obtaining your real estate license, or you're in the process of obtaining your real estate license, but you love land and you love what we're doing here and you see the value in that, then go fill out that form. Just let us know. Hey, when you go to that last section where you can just add some additional information, say, hey, I don't have my license yet, but I'm in the process. I'm taking my test. I'm registered for my test. I'm going through the course, et cetera, and we'll have a conversation, see if we may be a good fit. We have some people right now that are going to be joining the LANDiO team that are in the process of obtaining their real estate licenses. But they have a great understanding of land, a great appreciation of land. We have a lot of exciting things coming up here that we'll just drop a little some little nuggets, little teasers for what's coming. We mentioned a 258 acre property in Virginia. We have a 33 acre property in Northern California that we're working on the marketing for. We mentioned this 1 acre property in Sedona. We have 200 plus acres in New Mexico, Borders National Forest, another 150 acre property in New Mexico near Taos. We have several properties coming available in Colorado, Texas, Wyoming, Florida, and we're in conversations on the marketing for a property in the country of Colombia. We've actually also had conversations recently with people that have property in the Dominican Republic, Peru, Panama, Mexico. So we're set up to do business internationally through a network of like-minded agents and brokers around the world, and we come in there and we provide all of the marketing services. So in closing, also, if you're watching this if you're watching this and you're looking to purchase property, go to our website. At the top of every page, you're going to see a form. You can put your email address in there. Please do so. You'll be notified of new properties as they come available. But if you're looking to sell a property and you're looking to sell a property here anywhere in the United States, if you go to our properties page, or you go to any of the main properties page, or any of the property details pages, you're going to see a form. It's a sell property form. Fill out that simple form if you got a property that you're looking to sell. There's also a sell tab at the top navigation, but this button right here, click that sell property form. Just fill out that simple form, just a few questions, and then it'll redirect you. You can schedule a call with us, and we'll have a conversation, learn more about your property, what it is your objectives are there, and see how we may be of service. And that's one of the reasons why we're looking to expand the team, because we have people that are contacting us from all over the world, asking them to give their land a voice, just like we've given our land a voice. Again, we've launched LANDiO 6 years ago. And since that period of time, we've completed nearly 1,000 transactions where we're the principals. We weren't using agents, brokers, the MLS, signs, or any of that other stuff. And we've received such a demand and such an overwhelming amount of requests from people that say, hey, can you help me sell my property? I love the way that you present your properties. Could you present my property that way? And for a long time, we just weren't interested in doing that. We didn't have the bandwidth. And the requests it got to the point where the requests were just too great that we couldn't say no anymore. And that's when we obtained a real estate license. I obtained my real estate license in the summer of last year and joined a company called eXp Realty. They're the fastest growing residential real estate company in history. And the founder of eXp, Glenn Sanford, and myself, there's some parallels there in how they've approached marketing and real estate. And we felt like it was a good fit. We've had nothing but positive experiences with eXp. We've done business with many people that are also eXp agents, and we've had nothing but positive experiences. So again, in closing, it's sincerely an honor for you to spend a little time with us. We value your time. Look, time is finite, just like land, right? You see how they just print more money. You can print more money. You can do all these other things. You can launch a new NFT project and call it Board Bunnies or whatever you want to call it. All these goofy things going on right now. But land is finite, and so is your time, and we value both. Thank you, and God bless.